Part 1. Relationships. Chapter 1. I should be more like her. Nobody wants to be should on. Whether it's the world shouting a list of expectations and demands at us, social media showing us what life is like for someone else, or even a desire to fit in, twisting our dreams and goals, when we slow down long enough to really pay attention to the thoughts in our heads, we find we've been should on. I've had countless opportunities over the years to experience the burden of should on my life. From college to married life, from the workplace to social media, I found myself so thick in the expectations of others and myself that joy, peace, and contentment had no room to thrive. It's easy for the best intentions of should to paralyze us from moving toward God's plan for our lives. We begin every year thinking that we should get healthier, we should finally start that project we've always dreamed of doing. Before we know it, we find ourselves frustrated at our lack of progress and wondering why we haven't achieved what seems simple for other women. What started as a good goal turns into a comparison trap that we struggle to escape. As I've explored my struggles with should over the years, I've discovered that some deeper issues take me from living with an eternal perspective, holy anticipation, and healthy expectations, to feeling like I've been should on. Fear, insecurity, pride, comparison, doubt, and unrealistic expectations. Fear tells me I should get moving because if I don't, I'll never achieve my dreams. Insecurity tells me I should change who I am and how I act because if I'm more like her, I'll feel confident, secure, and invited. Pride tells me I should do everything I can to keep up with the Joneses so I can be the best and shine the spotlight on myself, regardless of how hustling in that way burns out, wearies, and overwhelms me. Comparison tells me I should do more, be more, or else I've failed. Doubt tells me I should fake it until I make it because I'm not sure I belong or I'm good enough, but I can't let anyone else know it. And over it all is a layer of unrealistic expectations that my life, family, friends, work, and faith should look a certain way, and I should go to any length necessary to make every piece of my life practically perfect. I'm exhausted just making that list. That's what carrying the burden of should does to our lives. It keeps our eyes focused on everything and everyone around us instead of directing our gaze toward God. Should tries to yell so loudly in our ears that we can never hear God's voice inviting us to our next best step. Should is bossy and confusing and a liar. If should were a person, she would be someone your parents warned you to stay away from, the mean girl who makes you feel special for a little while, but eventually turns on you. Before we can break free from the chains of should, it would be helpful to understand why it's so hard to change how we think about our lives, our circumstances, and ourselves. There's a good reason it's difficult to break up with should. Blame it on your brain. Scripture tells us that our words are an overflow of our hearts. How we speak to others and to ourselves is a reflection of what is in our hearts. Our thoughts follow our hearts, and our words follow our thoughts. Maybe you've heard it like this: garbage in, garbage out. Hearts that are focused on the expectations and demands of the world will bear bad fruit. But hearts filled with God, grace, and the gospel bear good fruit in thought, word, and action. Through salvation and with God's help, we can be, as the Apostle Paul says in Romans 12:2, transformed by the renewing of our minds. And that transformation can make the difference between surviving and thriving. It's been said that Satan doesn't need to destroy us, only distract us to keep us from fulfilling the plans God has for us. What better way than to distract us with the noise of the world, filling our hearts and minds with all the things we think we should be doing, ensuring we miss out on the fulfilling work God has for us. Science tells us that our thoughts create patterns that change the landscape of our brains, cells, and genes. One writer explains the way our brain changes based on our thoughts. What flows through your mind also sculpts your brain in permanent ways. Think of your mind as the movement of information through your nervous system. As a thought travels through your brain, neurons fire together in distinctive ways based on the specific information being handled. And those patterns of neural activity actually change your neural structure. Busy regions of the brain start making new connections with each other, and existing synapses, the connections between neurons that experience more activity, get stronger, increasingly sensitive, and start building more receptors. New synapses are also formed.